The seedy side of society.
Approximately 33 to 40% of travelers in long-term relationships admitted to infidelity while abroad, according to multiple behavioral studies between 2015 and 2022. Global tourism reports show that 1 in 5 travelers overspends their budget by more than 30%, often using credit to sustain the illusion of freedom. We travel because we think fulfillment lives somewhere else, freer, unburdened by the routines that dominate our days. But what we truly seek isn't a place, it's a feeling, the possibility of discovering something new. Sometimes the encounters we collect are not what we hoped. Welcome to the seedy side of society. On this channel, we explore the parts of society the world pretends not to see. And on this episode, we'll expose the shady underbelly of global travel. Before the global travel slowdown of 2020, Thailand was one of the 10 most visited countries on Earth, UN tourism data shows. Nearly 39 million people arrived in 2019. That's more than Japan, more than Germany the same year. By 2024, the country welcomed over 35 million international visitors, a clear sign that Thailand's allure endures. Visitors come from across Asia and Europe, drawn by warmth, affordability, and a culture that seems to welcome everyone. Travel writers once called it the world's classroom for leisure, a place where luxury, spirituality, and simplicity share the same street. It isn't the only paradise on offer, but few countries have branded comfort and openness so effectively for so long. To be frank, not everyone flies 12 hours each way just for the beaches. They come because Thailand offers what home withholds: permission, proximity, power. In the West, indulgence is rationed, earned, hidden, justified. Thailand offers indulgence without guilt. Here, pleasure is part of the architecture. You don't sneak it, you schedule it. It isn't about late-night passions or nightlife in general. It's release. Permission to step away from the confines of social expectations. A place where no one asks who you are or why you need the break. Anonymity feels sacred to people who live under constant judgment. For some, that's real luxury. Thailand's warmth and beauty are engineered but convincing. People look you in the eye, laugh easily, touch your arm when they talk. That closeness, the sense that you're seen, has become rare currency. Loneliness is expensive in the West. Most visitors may or may not admit it, but in Thailand, it's negotiable. Their money stretches farther. Their wants and desires move with new energy. In a world that constantly reminds you how replaceable you are, Thailand offers the chance to feel important again. Recent research on global tourism markets shows that travelers from wealthier nations are increasingly motivated by status, control, and personal influence, not just relaxation. A 2023 study on high-end tourism found that modern travelers equate comfort with power, the ability to shape every experience around themselves. Thailand delivers that perfectly. It's not exploitation, it's exchange. But it's also the quiet reason paradise will always look familiar to those who can afford the ticket. Travelers come to Thailand to feel alive, though alive means something different depending on where you land. In Bangkok, it's kinetic. Towers, markets, and traffic woven into organized chaos. In Chiang Mai, it's slow and deliberate. Incense, coffee, and quiet ambition. In Phuket and Pattaya, it's louder, beaches, bars, and nightlife that runs on electric confidence. Thailand sells contrast, temples and neon, meditation and nightlife, coconut water by day, whiskey by midnight. The product isn't just escape, it's sensation. For a moment, you feel the world without buffer, and what one makes of it sheds light on the innermost parts of the heart. The chaos has choreography. The noise, the friendliness, the small bargains, all fine-tuned to make you feel spontaneous while the machine hums underneath. The visitor gets what they came for. Not peace, not culture. Permission. Permission to feel reckless without real risk. To live loose while the system quietly cushions every fall. Tourism contributes roughly 18 to 22% of Thailand's GDP when indirect industries are counted. In 2019, it supported more than 6 million jobs, nearly 1 in 6. Revenue from tourism funds roads, schools, and healthcare in regions that once depended entirely on agriculture. As sociologists note, Thailand has turned hospitality into infrastructure, an industry of warmth refined to precision. But that precision has limits. In 2020, millions lost income overnight. Wages in resort towns stay low because prices must stay attractive. Rising costs push locals inland, while beachfront land becomes foreign investment. Cultural identity bends toward what sells. Simplified rituals, rehearsed smiles, English phrases polished for efficiency. Hospitality becomes performance, sincere but scripted. In Pattaya and Phuket, affection itself has become infrastructure, not only through the traditionally monetized romance of old, but through a broader market of emotional labor, companionship, attention, and empathy for rent. Research from a Thai university calls this affective exchange, where care and connection become services, blurring the line between human connection and commerce. The question morphs from what's legal to what's comfortable. The Thai tourism engine is designed to give you more than culture, beaches, and nightlife. It offers proof you can still feel, but whatever that means is up to you. The search for freedom never stops at one coastline. For those chasing balance, there's Bali, an Indonesian island promising serenity, spirituality, and affordability. Another paradise maintained by invisible labor. The question follows, if escape can be bought, what happens when everyone starts selling it? Bali sells the promise of healing. It's marketed as a softer paradise, yoga mats instead of nightclubs, smoothies instead of shots. Yet the promise is the same, transformation, at a discount. Before 2020, Bali welcomed over 6 million foreign visitors a year, most from Australia, China, and Western Europe. By 2024, arrivals had rebounded to nearly 5.5 million, according to Indonesia's Ministry of Tourism. But what people really come for can't be counted at airports. It's the feeling that they've escaped the weight of their own reflection. Here, the currency isn't just money, it's validation. Bali lets people audition for a different life. In the West, work defines worth. Here, being seen at rest becomes proof of success. Retreat culture thrives on that paradox. You can only throw your cares to the wind once you've earned enough to afford the breeze. Wellness is the new luxury. Retreats promise alignment, but what they often sell could be considered curated struggle. 5 days of silence, designer fasting, enlightenment with breakfast included. The idea isn't faith, it's self-control. A spiritual high you can schedule, photograph, and share. To appear unplugged is now a symbol of privilege. Digital detox villas charge premium rates for Wi-Fi you're told not to use. Minimalism costs more here than materialism does back home. And that irony keeps the influencers coming. Proof that they've escaped while still streaming the evidence. Each sunrise over Uluwatu, each photo framed by rice terraces, whispers the same message. You're doing life right. Flights, retreats, and digital sabbaticals become evidence that balance isn't free. It's bought, documented, and monetized. Economists call it the wellness paradox. People spend billions escaping the stress created by the same systems that let them afford escape. Tourism accounts for roughly 60% of Bali's regional income when linked industries are included. From boutique resorts to scooter rentals, the island's economy orbits the visitor. Every smoothie bowl, every temple ticket, every yoga mat pays a villager's wage, but dependence breeds fragility. When borders closed, unemployment surged above 12%, forcing many to return to farming or leave the island entirely. As tourists return, locals face rising rents and shrinking ownership. The island built for healing is quietly battling an economic fever. Bali's serenity hides its own form of temptation. Not lust, but longing. The addiction to meaning. Visitors arrive searching for real life, but what they find is curated authenticity. Temples booked by appointment. Sunsets queued for drones. Teachers who price enlightenment by the hour. The result is a global audience chasing wellness, while locals chase rent. Every deep breath costs someone else's shallow one. But some travelers don't come to lose control or to find peace. They come to buy perfection outright. Our next stop sells ambition itself. Dubai. A city built for theatrics and sustained by illusion. A skyline carved out of sand. Every line, light, and leaf engineered to prove that human will can rewrite geography. According to Dubai's Department of Economy and Tourism, before 2020, the city hosted over 16 million visitors. And by 2024, more than 18.7 million. The trend hasn't slowed. Through early 2025, arrivals were tracking nearly 7% higher than the year before. Dubai reflects the world's appetite for perfection. Clean, curated, and endlessly upgraded. Here, wealth isn't whispered, it's broadcast. Hotels compete not for comfort but for astonishment. 7-star suites, indoor jungles, entire islands carved into art. Visitors come to experience what unrestrained ambition looks like. Influencers frame it as inspiration. Financiers call it vision realized. But beneath both is the same desire. The fantasy that control can be purchased, not earned. In a region known for volatility, Dubai sells predictability. Crime rates remain low. Rules are clear. And the city operates like a flawless machine. For visitors, that precision feels like peace, structure masquerading as serenity. But safety here carries an unspoken cost: surveillance and silence. The same systems that protect the visitor also conceal what makes that protection possible. Dubai attracts dreamers, investors, and exiles, all chasing versions of themselves that couldn't exist back home. There's no past here, only projection. And for many, that's intoxicating. To build, to brand, to belong. In a place that measures worth and visibility, visitors leave with proof of success, not just in selfies, but in memory. Here, indulgence is efficient. Service anticipates need. Attention is currency. The city functions like a living algorithm, optimizing for desire, a kind of spiritual symmetry where money, order, and admiration align. For travelers from chaotic economies or aging cities, that alignment feels like proof that human design can outthink decay. Tourism drives roughly 12% of Dubai's GDP, feeding a broader economy built on logistics, real estate, and global trade. But what keeps the city running isn't tourists, it's workers. Nearly 90% of Dubai's population are foreign nationals. This type of labor immigration creates a city population that's nearly 70% male, a staggering number similar to that of nearby Doha, Qatar. They clean the rooms, pour the drinks, lay the tiles, and keep the glass spotless on towers they'll never afford to enter. The city's perfection is maintained by an invisible majority, a labor force living in crowded compounds far from the skyline, in conditions that are anything but luxurious. Long hours, limited mobility, low wages, few days off. Their stories rarely told, and yet for many, it's still opportunity, a chance to support the families they left behind. Exploitation or exchange. The truth lies somewhere between. The visitors keep coming. For citizens, Dubai's ambition is both pride and pressure. Success here is never static. It must be performed, refreshed, and reframed. For migrant laborers, the cost is different. They are the scaffolding of the dream, essential, replaceable, invisible. And when perfection is the product, the flaws can't be allowed to show. Dubai's glamour hides more than labor. It hides desire. In a culture that outlaws vice in public, but rewards indulgence in private, appetite becomes an import. Social media hints at a quieter trade. Influencers, professional companions, and party models flown in under vague contracts to populate exclusive events. None of it officially exists. Yet everyone online seems to know someone who's been invited. It's another extension of the city's dependence on appearance, image as economy, beauty as access. When image becomes currency, relationships turn transactional, and sometimes very exotic. The shadows of Dubai have been documented, but with travel numbers rising each year, a question lingers. Do the ends justify the means? Or do we simply prefer not to look too closely when the results glitter with such splendor? Every escape we've explored, pleasure, balance, control, began with an idea, not a place, not a promise. Every industry has an undercurrent. In travel, it moves quietly beneath the postcards, the affairs, the overdrafts, the regrets that never make it to Instagram. And psychologists studying the vacation effect note how risk tolerance spikes when identity feels detached from consequence. The result isn't just escapism, it's exposure. Away from accountability, travel becomes a dreamlike state, a fantasy, a lifestyle, cultivated, filtered, and exported. And as we continue exploring the darker recesses of our own mind's eye, we end up learning more about ourselves than the places we visit. If something in this episode hits you, don't just scroll away. Like, subscribe, and tell us your take. We're new here, and you get to help build this from the ground up. We'll keep exploring the seedy side.